Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Quantum Leap homework session and market preview and trade plan setup for September the 3rd, 2013. Let's get the disclaimer out of the way. This information is for the purpose of educating members who want to expand the knowledge of the business of trading. It's not for trading or investment advice. You and only you are responsible for the trades or investment decisions you make. Trading futures or any instrument involves the risk of loss. Please consider carefully whether futures or options are appropriate to your financial situation. Only risk capital should be used when trading futures or options. Investors could lose more than their initial investment. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Okay, so I want to welcome everybody from Twitter. My name's Doug McKay. I am one of the moderators of Quantum Leap. Quantum Leap is going on September. Is our 4th year of running a chat room. Quantum Leap is a Skype chat room that's been private for the last 4 years. We've kind of flown underneath the radar. But we're now going to start expanding it out. If you're interested in checking out the Skype room and follow along with the chat, you can open up a Skype account. It only takes a minute or so. It is free, and you can send a contact request to Doug_McKay. I will be the one from Windsor, Ontario, Canada. Of course, if you want to find out more about Quantum Leap and our different programs that we have a live trade room, we have the regular homework sessions each morning, and then we put out a trade sheet every day as well. You can give me an email to DM at M4Connects or call me direct on my line at 519-250-5530. So what we're going to do is what we do every single morning, and I know that if you're watching this video on YouTube, you can skip ahead if you don't want to go through the key numbers, but we go through a normal morning routine and go through the numbers. We look at the macro to the micro key numbers, and then we get into some basic chart analysis, and then we get into deeper chart analysis with volume profile, and then Howard will come on and do his Fibonacci and Elliott wave, but we don't skip. There is no shortcuts in trading. So of course yesterday was a holiday. It was a shortened session. I'm not really going to talk about the shortened session today. We're going to be dealing from the Friday numbers, so we'll be looking at the Friday numbers, and then we'll show what's happened so far. Because really, we put the holiday in for a placeholder. We've been keeping this sheet now for several years, and we need a placeholder for each day, and we mark them separately, and we'll put the numbers down even though we only traded up until 10:30, and all of that business will actually end up in Tuesday's business, and we'll have one big day from Sunday Globex Open to the close at 3:30 on Tuesday. But let's take a look at the numbers from Friday. Of course, the macro numbers don't change. 1705 is our all-time high, our year high, our month high, actually our last month high, starting the new month this month. And then our year open and year low is way below us, down in the 1400s. We opened last month at 1685.50. We had a high of 1705 and a low of 1624.75. And we, in the changeover, we have to repeat this for the one day. Our close last month or Friday was 1632.25. Nothing changes. We have a week open this week at 1660.75, high of 1667. No, that's last week again. Again, this is the one day a month that these numbers get repeated, and we did close last week at our month close at 1632.25, and then the other numbers will show up starting with our Globex Open, and we opened the Globex last night at 1640.25. We had a high of 48.50 and a low of 39, and opened yesterday in the short and RTH session at 47. We don't really pay too much attention to the open type here, but we're going to be paying attention to Fridays. We had an open auction in range. We broke the IB to one side, so we had a normal variation. We had a 4 3/4 point opening swing, high at 39.50, low at 34.75. Our initial balance high on Friday, 39.50, our OS high, and our initial balance low, 1631.50, which was that week low that we had, the 31.50. I think it was a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Our initial balance was 8, well within the normal range. Our 12:30 number on Friday, 1632.50. All numbers in Quantum Leap homework session are quoted in Central Time. We track the 12:30 number because this is the time that traders come back and either accelerate the trend or reverse the trend. So we keep a track of this particular number. Our RTH high was 39.50. Our RTH low was 25.50. Our RTH closed with 32.75, and we had a shift of the VPOC just at the end, which also shifted our microcomposite VPOC down to 1631. Range for Friday, we had a 14-point range in the RTH, 19.5 in the full session, 8 3/4 in the Globex. Full session high, 1645, put in the Globex. Full session low, 1625.50, put in the RTH. And our 20-day ATRs are running just over 13.25 on the RTH, just over 16 on the full session, and just over 9.5 on the Globex. Our Globex Open last night, 1647.50. Our Globex Open on Sunday, 1640.25. Sorry, that's Friday. Sorry. Our European cash close on Friday, 1630.50. It was the close of our market yesterday in the holiday session at 1647.50. And then our value area high from Friday, 1633.50, and value area low, 1629.50. I know this is kind of convoluted with the holiday session, but there's nothing we can do about it. We have to put the placeholder in and keep track of the numbers, even though it was a shortened session and really belongs in today. And then on Friday we broke the IB just inside of the pocket at 943. We run a time study on the initial balance breakout, and the average time that the IB is broken is between when it sets at 9:30 and in the first 15 minutes, 9:45. Our ETH high on Friday extended session, 1633.50. Our extended session low, 1631.50, and our ETH close, 1632.25, which is our settlement number for 2 points. And then we had normal volume, 1.6 and 1.9 on the RTH in full session, and then we had really light volume overall yesterday in the holiday session. Going to the daily report. Now, each day when we're doing these sheets, okay, we pull in, the key numbers like our monthly open, high, lows, etc. And then we pull in the Pearson pivots on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis. Then all our volume profile numbers, some proprietary studies that we do, and what gets completed from this and posted into the room is what is our QLTP, which basically is a ladder above the previous day close and a ladder below the previous day close with all the different key levels that we're tracking on multiple methodologies. And then it gives you, the news for the day, and then a little work area, and your Pearson pivots, and then your key numbers. But all those numbers are inside, and then our members can pull this down and print this out and have them have it at their desk so that they know, as they're coming into different levels, where there's confluence and where active traders based on different methodologies might execute trades and have key reversal areas or accelerations of price, Fibonacci's of long-term price acceptance, long-term price rejection, any of those things. So that's printed out from the sheet. In terms of the CHVNs, we're still trading within that area between 67 and 29.25, and so we're still in that area that's still maturing, which was a very blunt part of our profile. So nothing really changes. The single, double, and triple A's are just key reference points of numbers that I'm watching and what I'm paying attention to, and I'll show you this on the chart when we get down there. So nothing really changes. A couple minor changes in the CHVNs and CLVNs and the microcomposites. The significant LVNs from Friday's profile, intraday profile, is 34 1/4 and 27.75. In terms of naked crosses and naked VPOCs, naked cross is a study that I developed a couple of years ago, probably about 3 years ago now, and this is the 9 EMA and the 20 SMA. And a naked cross to me is when the 9 crosses the 20 and price action immediately moves away, and we track them as naked because the market has a high probability of going back to those areas and retesting those numbers and closing them out. Same thing with naked VPOCs. So they act as targets for us. And of course we took out 1641.75 on the 15-minute. We track them intraday on the 5, 15, and 30-minute, but I do keep a record of them for daily and longer terms as well. And then we added 41.50 and 16.33 and a quarter. Just taking a quick look at the news today, we have manufacturing and PMI at 8 o'clock Central, and then we have ISM manufacturing, construction spending, optimism, and manufacturing prices all at 9 o'clock Central. So there is going to be some news coming up in the first half hour of the RTH, so we want to be careful and not get caught up in the chop before that. Going over to the charts, the next thing I like to do is I like to take a macro to a micro view on the charts with my moving averages. Again, this is a 9 EMA, this is a 20 SMA, and this is my trend line based on the macro of the monthly. And you can see last month we did close with a higher close and a higher low and a higher high. We've got good slope and separation on the 9 and the 20, and we're trading right now in the lower distribution from last month. But the trend, the macro trend, is still very much intact on the monthly. Going to the weekly. Weekly, we've got this potential head and shoulders showing up, and we've been coming down, and we had our first close last week below the 20 SMA for the whole year. So this is showing a little bit of weakness coming into this market and a possible rollover, but we've popped up. We had, we were looking for that holiday drift on Friday, and we didn't really get it on Friday. But what do they do? On Sunday night they pop it and then drift, all into the holiday, and we got that nice holiday drift, which is going to give us a gap open this morning on the RTH session. But we are trading right near the 20 on the weekly, and we've got lack of slope and separation now. We're coming into an MA hug, MA squeeze. This is generally a decision point, and we'll generally get a decent move off of a MA hug or MA cross if it happens. Going down to the daily. Daily, you can see, shows a bit of a different picture. We've rolled over. We've got slope and separation to the downside. We are losing a little bit of slope right now. We created these two technical gaps. The tech gap is where the price moves away from the 9 EMA, creates this little gap area, and the gap will generally get closed either through time or through price. And you can see that this got closed with price. We rejected off of it, created another small gap, and then we came back and closed it again. And currently we're trading above the 9 EMA, but we're struggling to stay above it on the daily. Going over to our geometric chart, this is the long-term upsloping fork. Andrew's pitchfork that we've been following, and then we've got the opposing downward sloping fork that I drew a couple weeks ago, and then this new modified shift fork. And we've broken, we came up to the center line of the upward sloping fork, rejected off of it, came all the way down, tested the lower line of the upward sloping fork and failed to hold. We broke down, came back up, tried to get back in and hold. We couldn't, and they broke down again. And currently we're trading outside of the larger upward sloping fork, and this is why I brought this modified fork in. But you can see that we are respecting the downward sloping fork. We've come off of the the upper line of the downward sloping fork, and we're coming down towards the center line. And if we come down into the center line, it's going to put us into that 1585, 1590 area when we come down to test it here. But we are respecting, we've got good frequency on this modified fork, and we are holding it. Now the interesting thing is that all three forks have created a energy point which is between the 1678 and 1679 area. So I'm tracking, watching this number in this area quite closely. And expecting probability. If we hold within this new modified fork, we should come up and hit this energy point this week. So I'll be watching that. But if we break down, then I'm looking for that move down to the test the center line of the downward sloping fork and my key area below, which is that 1581 area that you'll see on the composite. Going to a intraday just to give us an idea where we are overnight. Going down to the 4 hour. We're kind of, we started this downtrend overnight off of the, we started this downtrend, not overnight, a couple days ago, and we've come down, and we're getting some consolidation in this area, and it shows up pretty nicely on the composite between that 29 and the 67 level. But basically right now we're going sideways. We are above the 9 EMA. We're getting a little bit of slope and a little bit of separation to the upside. Will this trend continue into the RTH is the question that we need to have answered on the open. On the 1 hour, again, very flat, not giving us any clear direction. We're trying to get back above the 9, EMA right now, the 20 SMA right now, and we're struggling to get through to it. Going down to the 15-minute, here we've come back and closed above. We've created a naked cross here at 1645, 25. So I'll be watching this number, and we'll put that onto our trading chart when we get over to moving our numbers onto the intraday. So let's take a quick look at the composite. So this is my composite. This composite goes to the date 8/16/07. So that's all the volume at price going back to 2007. That day is actually the low, swing low, just before the big run up to what was the all-time high up at 1685.75 or 1585.75. I'm sorry, but currently, last week in the last 4 days, we were trading inside of this microcomposite microcomposite that I drew. We had to shift. Our microcomposite VPOC was up at 3750 prior to Friday. If I take Fridays out, you'll see that the actual microcomposite VPOC was 3750. But Friday's action brought the most accepted price of the current balance area down to the 1631 area. And we're trading inside of this blunt area that is starting to get a little bit more mature, and some numbers are starting to emerge into this area. And really, I'm watching this area between the 67 CLVN, 1667 CLVN, and what was the 29.25 is now shifted down to 1627 CLVN. And we've got the 31, the 3350. 3750 and 4375 and 47.25 and 5050 and 55 and 58 as our key areas of price acceptance. And it's going to be, to me, it's going to be extremely choppy in this area, but we're currently trading right around this CLVN, this prior microcomposite that we fell down out of. The value area low on that is 47.50. So if we get above the CLVN at 46.50 and hold above this, then we're staying above the prior week's balance, and we're coming up to test this value area low. And if we get inside of this value area, my target overnight was 50.50. We didn't quite get there, and we kind of fell off and came back towards this 43.75, 44.50 area that was dominant earlier in this blunt area. But if we stay above, I'm expecting a drift up again to this 50.50 and test the other side of balance of around 50.50 at this 54 CLVN. But the key number above is that 55. And then above 55, you've got 58 and 63.75. But the big number above is the other side of balance at 67. And of course, above that we've got this former microcomposite VPOC at 70.25, which we came down, missed by one tick on the way down the first time, and then the second time they gapped down through it. So we haven't taken that naked microcomposite VPOC out at 70.25, and then 86.75. And then to the downside, if we get back below this 1646, I'm looking for a rotation back towards 43.75, and 37.50 really is the big number below. That gets us into the value area high of this microcomposite balance at 38.50, and test the CHVN and our former microcomposite VPOC before Friday. And I expect if we get back down here, we'll see a shift. There's not a lot of volume between the 37.50 and the 31 on that shift, so that we should see a shift of the microcomposite if we come down here and trade around this 37.50 again. And then in this area is just, to me, it's a lot of chop with between the 37.50 and the 31. And if we come down, the number you want to keep your eye on is this 27, because that gets us back out of value and below the value area low at 28.50. And I think we'll go for a move down to test the low of the balance at 24.75 and move towards the key area below that we're watching at 16.20.25, with the other side of balance and key CLVN at 15.75. Below that, if we get below that, the big number below is back down here in at that 16.08 and a quarter, 16.07 CHVN, the areas of price acceptance, that we're before we launch to make the run up to the all-time high. The most accepted price before the launch was down here at 16.08.25. And it was, that heavy CHVN at 16.07. So if we can't hold value, I expect to come down here pretty quick down to the 16.07, 16.08, and probably come down and test the 1600, centennial number, and the other side of balance at 1675. But if we can't hold in the 1600s, the next destination point, and remember this brings us down to the center line of the downward sloping fork, and down to test the month trend line down here in between the 1581.75 area and the 1590 area. So this is my next destination down. And you can see that I posted this in the Quantum Leap room last night and on Twitter, and this just shows all the areas that I just talked about, and which are my main targets for early September, to see if we can hold value up here and slowly move back up towards our former price acceptance, or if we can't hold value, come down and test these lower levels. So you can go and grab this chart and put it where you can reference it if you like. Let's take a look at the overnight, and then move our numbers. Of course, we've got this short holiday session overnight are, that's included in this area. But the key that we want to look at is the three most important levels overnight, and that's the overnight high at 49, and the overnight low at 42 and a quarter, and the current balance and Globex VPOX at 46.75. So just go over to our main trading chart and put these levels in. So our overnight high is 49. Our overnight low was 42.75. And our overnight VPOC is right where we're trading right now at 46.75. So taking a look at this, you've got Friday's range high at 39.50. You've got Friday's range low at 25.50. The two LVNs, the one at 35 and the one at 27.75, with the naked VPOC at 31. But we're opening up about 8 points, an 8-point gap with the overnight low at 42.75. So it's going to be an interesting open, especially coming into the first trading day of the month, as well as coming out of a holiday with a gap. And it's going to, and we've got some news coming in at the first half hour. So I expect it to be pretty choppy. I'll see who the dominant control is. If we can get up and get above that CLVN at 46.50 and stay above, then I'd be looking for a move towards that 48.49 area and take out the overnight high with the naked VPOC at 51 from, I think that was Wednesday of last week. From the 22nd. And that's still naked above. We have a naked cross just above. Let's put our naked crosses in here to see where we've got targets. We've got one on the 30-minute at 33.25. We've got one on the 15-minute at 41.50. We have one at on the 15-minute just above us at 48. And we have the one at 51.75, which is already marked, and we have one still up here at 62.50 and 64.75. So we've got a fair amount of targets above and below. So it's going to be tricky in this area. But I'm definitely going to trade the range high from Friday if we come down here. If we get, if we come down and reject it and buyers step in and take us back up. But if we get below it, my first target, of course, is that CHVN and the former microcomposite VPOC at 37.50. So I'll be trading this level. Up in this area right here, if we get above the 46.50 and we can hold it, I'm going to try to initiate a long from here, with the idea that, why is this not going in? With the idea that we're going to go and take out the, it's just not going to let me put it in, is it? There we go. So I'll be looking, to hold here. I won't. I'll wait to see how we react off of this on the open. We still got some time, but if we can hold this level, we've got the naked cross with the CHVN at 48. We've got the overnight high at 49, which is also that right near that 49.50 CHVN. And then we got the naked VPOC at 51 and 51.75. We've got a naked VPOC with a naked close at 54. And then, of course, the big number is the former microcomposite VPOC. And that's my main target above for the morning, which is this 55. So that's my target area, going into today's session above. And then if we come down here and we get through this 3950, the first area that I'd be looking for traders to step in and possibly some buyers to hold us and take us up to test the range high from Friday is down here at this 34.75. But if I'm short already and we break through the 34.75, I'd be looking for a quick move down to test the value area high from Friday at 33.50. I'll do an add-on there and hope for continuation through to take out the naked cross at 33.25 and 31. And then the next area that I'll be looking to do business is down here at the 27.75, being the key CLVN and the LVN from Friday just above it. So I'll be looking again if we're moving down and we see a rejection with a blow through and a continuation lower. I'll be looking to do an add, or I'll be looking to get long if I'm not already short, or looking for the possibility of a bounce from there. So that's the areas that I'm looking to trade. Of course, it's going to be choppy on the open, so don't get don't get chopped up. Wait to see who's dominant out of the open. Taking a quick look at the Keltner Channel, the center line of the Keltner is going to be 45 test. The upper Keltner Channel is 50-50, that's CHVN at 50-50, and then the lower Keltner Channel is going to bring us down into that 39.25, which is going to give us that test of the range high from Friday. That's what I've got, Howard. We'll go over to you, and then I'll come back and do a quick wrap-up on gold.
Thank you, Doug. So just taking a quick peek at the monthly chart, we did finish last month with a dark cloud cover candle pattern. So it's the first negative pattern on a monthly basis that we've had for quite some time. So this month what we'll look to look out for is whether we have a continuation of this candle pattern or not. This white line up here represents an Andrews pitchfork back from nearly 20 years ago, and it came and tested it 3 times on the monthly candles, and on the third touch we've had a rejection. So again, we'll look to see if there's any follow-through in the next, or I guess the now current month. So looking at the weekly chart, we did end up closing last week below the weekly 20 SMA. The week before that, price was mostly contained between it and the 9 EMA. So we've made our way back up inside between the 2 moving averages so far during this Globex session and yesterday's action. So, over the last couple of weeks, the 9 EMA has held as resistance, and we had our first break of support last week. So again, this will be a key level again for this week. On the daily charts, I have a potential 5-wave pattern that formed. Wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We've started a retrace from that level. The low here came within 3 to 4 points of my projected target for this wave. So now we've had a move up, a retracement, and have another move up coming here. So if this does become a wave 2, my targets are between 1664.75 and 1674.25, and if I remember correctly, that 74.25 area is near that energy point that Doug was talking about in his confluence of 3 Andrews pitchforks. So that could be good. confirmation between the multiple methodologies for a potential target point. So that's what I'm looking at here. We are currently breaking above the 9 EMA. The 20 SMA has just crossed below the 50 SMA on the daily. So, the indications are clearly that there's been weakness, and again, we'll be looking to see how these patterns play out. If this does become a wave 2, then there should be a third wave that follows lower. So that's the current hypothesis, and again, we just need to wait for the market to see if that hypothesis plays out or not. So looking at our market breadth indicators, after Friday's action, the advanced decline in the middle chart on a 10-day average basis and the up-down volume in the lower study chart both leveled off after having gotten a bit stronger during the last week and a half. They did bottom here on the 19th of August and start getting stronger where price continued lower. As we've discussed before, they peaked back here on July 9th and started drifting lower from that time, even as price in the SPYs were moving higher. So they tend to give us a good indication of the overall breadth and strength of the market. So when it bottomed here, that was indicating a possible retracement coming. And we've seen a bit of retracement over the last week or so. So let's move along to our sectors. So during this period of consolidation, we're getting most sectors, flat to slightly lower. Consumer staples has picked up a bit of strength. Home builders has reassumed the seller among the sectors. But outside of that, a little bit of non-confirmation between the sectors, but for the most part, they're flat to a little bit lower. We'll look at our Dow transports versus industrials. They're still moving in sync with each other. Nothing really significant to note here. So with that, Doug, I think that's all I've got. I'll turn it back over to you.
Thanks, Howard. All right. So last week, we talked about gold and getting long if we broke above 1400, with the target being the value area high from this area of balance that we previously fell out of, up at 1430.40. We came up, had a nice move. The first target was at 1410 area, and then if we got through there up to the 1430.40, we actually went up to 1434, right to the CHVN there, and then we drifted back, and we talked about the probability of probably coming back towards this 1388 if we couldn't hold the 1400 level. Our current microcomposite VPOC is at 1396. We just broke back above 1400. I actually just got long and funded while Howard was talking on another long, and my main target above is going to be the value area high here at 1417.20 with if we have continuation up to the fractal high of 1424. 50, and then the 1434, which is our microcomposite range high right now, and just above it the key CHVN up here at 1435.90. I'm not expecting a lot of move on this go. I expect us to still chop around in this distribution area, so I'm really looking for this to probably come up into the 1417 area and stall out there. But you never know. Smoke a little bit of hopium and hopefully we get a bigger move. If we get back below 1400, then I'd be looking for a rotation back down towards and somewhere between this 1396 and this 1388 again to see if they can find buyers. And if we see weakness coming in, the other side of balance you want to keep your eye on right now is down here at this 8280. That gets us out of the value area that we're trading in right now. It gets us below the prior microcomposite VPOC at 1388, and we'll see if we get a break. And if we break through the target below, immediate target is 7730, and just below that is the 1366.30 with the big line in the sand down here at 1345.50. If we get back below 1345.50, I'm thinking we're going to get a move back down into this distribution area down here, somewhere between 1284 and 1300, 1310 area. So that's what I'm looking at on gold. At this point in time, we're going to close the recording down. This is also where we would usually close the homework session and open up a separate room, which is our live trade room. But today is going to be an open day, so we're going to leave this room open. And for those on level 2 that are doing the live room, I will be arranging to send out the PayPal request for this month's billing for the live room. Anyway, as always, trade well, trade safe, and we will catch you on the flip side.